Hey guys, good morning. Here's your daily Nugget. And by the way, if you have any questions about anything, you can email me. I'll put my email in the description below. So today I wanted to talk a little bit about marketing. Marketing is very important. It's important for real estate, it's important for business, it's important for your personal brand. Marketing is super important. And I want to put a little disclaimer here. I am not a marketing expert. I don't have a marketing degree, but I've marketed all my life. And whether you know it or not, you're marketing right now. In any interaction, somebody's selling somebody. You're either a buyer or a seller. But let's talk a little bit about marketing. Um, and I'll start in a high level stuff. So high level marketing in my layman's world, what I've learned is, you can hire the biggest marketing agency, this, that, and the other thing. They have suggestions and they have methods to which work for a lot of people, but they don't know. They don't know if what you're selling is going, and what you're selling and what method works. It is completely testing, trial and error. It's kind of like life. So marketing, let's say you're a real estate wholesaler and you want to market and you want to get lists and cold call motivated sellers. That's one way to market your services. Or you could do uh, pay per click ads. You could pay Google, sell my house fast, um, Tallahassee, and you're going to pay every time somebody clicks. It's very expensive. But instead of having like a cold call, you have a warm lead. So you have different types of marketing too. Do you want a cold lead where you're going to get more of them and you're going to call them and but you're going to close less, or you're going to want a warm lead? Do you want to do mailers that cost X amount of dollars? Do you want to do just Facebook and Instagram marketing? What kind of Facebook and Instagram marketing? So there are many, many different methods to marketing. Do you want to do traditional marketing? Do you want to do SEO, search engine optimization? All these things. I've literally tried all these things for different businesses. I'm still trying. Do you want to do email campaigns? Do you want to do text campaigns? Um, but they're all just testing. Nobody knows. And so here is what happens. And this is probably, I learned this from, shout out to Chris, one of my students who's in marketing. This is for me, I'm a numbers guy. Once I got this formula, it's called ROAS. Um, and James, who's with my marketing team, he would always talk about it, but Chris broke it down for me, like an accountant. So ROAS is return on ad spend. What you're testing is you want to test, if I spend $1,000 in this strategy, you know, how much is it costing me to get a lead or a close? And it literally, you start with, here's your budget. You put the budget out, you get let's say let's say I'm doing a webinar, spend $1,000 and I market it. Well, it costs me, 30, let me make easy numbers, $100 per lead, like somebody registered, name, email, yada, yada. So that's $100 per lead. Now, after the $100 per lead, they have to come to my webinar. So there's a thing called like the show rate. So what's the show rate? Do half of them show up? Do 20% show up? So let's say I marketed $1,000. It was $100 per lead. I'm going to have 10 possible people show up and 20% show up. So now 20% means that two people show up. And if my close rate is 50%, then I can expect to close one person. So basically, for $1,000, that's the cost of my lead. So what that breaks down is a couple things. If I'm selling a product that's $500 and it costs me $1,000 under this strategy to market to these people, it doesn't make any sense. Like if I'm going to get one sale for $500 and it costs me $1,000 to market it, I'm not using my headphones today too, so I hope you don't get too much with the roosters. Um, then it doesn't make sense. So you have to try different strategies to see what your cost per close or cost per lead, really cost per close is the most important thing. Which one is cheaper? And then you got to make sure whatever you're selling, like if you're wholesaling a deal, like wholesaling a real estate deal, and you're making 15,000 per deal, then if your cost per close is $1,000, that's acceptable. But if you're selling some, $500 product on the internet, it's it doesn't make sense. So you want to see which strategy works the best, which has the smallest cost per close, and then you want to see, is your product that you're selling, does that make sense for that? So it's just complete testing, and this works totally for any kind of business, not just real estate. So like, let's say you're selling widgets, right? If you're selling widgets, you could do, what I really like, it depends on the type of widget that you're selling. So where do you get these customers? Let's say people only want your stuff when they have an emergency. Well, like for instance, let's say you're in the business of uh, emergency restoration, right? Well, people, you could market to them, you could talk to them, you could make them aware, like, Coca-Cola or some of these big companies do. They're branding themselves. But you know what? When their house is flooded, the first thing they're probably going to do is go, uh, help with a flood on Google or look up, yeah, they're going to look on Google and stuff like that. So, you may get more leads, just from a pay-per-click ad. So my point being, depending on your business, you have to really optimize whatever strategy you're going to use. But don't think, first off, marketing is super duper important. There's another thing I will say. You could have salespeople working for you. You could have outside salespeople. There are tons of different ways that you can sell stuff. But marketing is super important. You're not going to make any money in any business as a business owner if you are not marketing. And marketing really is trial and error. You got to make a budget that you're going to trial and error with, and literally you do. I hate when marketing people talk, well, we need 3 to 6 months to see if this strategy works. It's true because you're just testing. So you have to have a marketing budget that you will say, for these 3 to 6 months, I'm going to try these different strategies, and you're going to figure out which one is the one that works, and the one that works, you're going to pounce on. You're going to spend the most. Now you're going to say, I'm not going to try 6 strategies. I know this one gives me the best cost per close. I'm going to put all my money towards that. Now, once you do that, it's off to the races, because then you can really see, if it costs me $1,000 per um, per close, and I make a $15,000 sale every time I close somebody, if I spend $5,000 in marketing, then I'll make $75,000. It literally can become that kind of science, but it takes time in the beginning. It takes a marketing budget in the beginning, and it takes testing. But what I like about it, when you're using ROAS, return on ad spend, you can actually get it down to a science. I spend X dollars, I make X dollars. And that's what we all want. So sorry, guys, about the roosters if you hear them. My audio is a little better without my headphones. I want you guys to have the best day of your life. Go get it today. Thanks, guys.